Evening, everybody. Just a quick one here. You join us in a very familiar spot here at the Fireside in Port Harrington Golf Club. We're just going to do a series of interviews with a couple of very select members of the club, just as regards what happened here over the course of the last, in some cases, 50, 60, 70 years. What has happened then, what it's like now. And there's some people who do a huge amount of work throughout the years that goes very much unnoticed. And with that, our first man here tonight is a man who is probably one of our longest serving members. He's the second of three generations of family to be club captain, if I'm not mistaken. Captain's Prize winner 3 times, Mr. Tom Hainsworth. Tom, thanks a million for coming there tonight.
It's a pleasure, Colin.
Tom, you yourself, your family have probably a huge history here in the golf club and in, again, probably the rugby club as well. You're the first junior, I believe, to be registered in Port.
Yeah, I understand I was, yeah.
Yeah. Yourself, your dad and David have all been club captain here.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about how obviously when you were here first, it was 9-hole course. Just a little bit about how you started, how you got going, and your kind of thoughts over those first probably number of years.
Yeah, well, my dad entered me when the day I was born. He came out to see me. I'm just going by what I was told at home, that he came out and he entered me as a family member. Now he was in his 40s at that stage, and I've been a member ever since. And he gave me a set of golf clubs then when I was about 5 or 6. That's all I was at the time anyway. And he kind of encouraged me to come out. Now I don't remember playing any golf with him ever, because he died when I was only 6. But I remember having the clubs, and I'm naturally a left-hander.
Okay.
And I got a set of right-handed clubs, and I've been playing right-handed ever since. But when I play hurling or I play cricket or anything like that, I play left-handed.
Great.
But that's the way things were at the time. And it was a great club at the time. 9 holes. The third hole was our first, and I just played during the school holidays, and I used to come out, get on the bike and cycle out then. And even when I went away to college then, I went to Roscrea. I used to play during the summer holidays, and that's basically how I got to know the place and how I got to like it. And I've been a member ever since.
Yeah. How long exactly would you have been a member?
Well,
between family and, say, yourself? And
everything, 78 years.
78 years. So you're by far our longest serving continuous member, I would say. Or is there anybody else?
Well, I'd say PJ Conlon wouldn't be too far away.
Okay.
PJ. He's been a longer member for a long time as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, the Conlon family, they all played as well. All the lads played.
Yeah, I think Conlon's, yourselves, like there's a couple of families there who are kind of synonymous with the club.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe you won the Captain's Prize, is it 2 or 3 times?
I won it 3 times. I won it Tony Dunphy's Prize in 1969. I won Johnny Webster's Prize in 1975. And I won Seamus McCusker's when I was vice captain in 77.
77, so you were captain in 70?
I was captain in 72 and 78.
72 and 78?
Yeah.
Cool. So 78, that's 42 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the year I was born, just for your own.
Thanks very much. No.
I mean, I'd say since then you've seen huge changes. Could you have ever envisioned, say, the club becoming what it is now to opposed to what it was then?
No, absolutely not, because at the time there was a lot of 9-hole courses around the place, and the 9 holes really suited us. We weren't a big club, we were only a small club. I mean, we have, 500-600 members now. I think the first Captain's Prize I played in, I think there was only about 70 people played in it on that day. There mightn't even have been that, because now we play on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. The first drive off when I won it the first time was 12:30 on a Sunday, yeah. And we still played it at 3 nines at that stage. It was 27 holes, 3 nines, and the leaders went out last.
Yeah.
It's the same system, more or less, as we have, and we always stuck with it.
Yeah, it always did tend to.
It works.
Yeah, it absolutely.
It works, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the club as a 9-hole course. I started playing in Noel McMahon's year, which would have been 1984.
Yeah.
And I remember it as a 9-hole, and it was always, I would say, a fantastic golf course. But as an 18-hole, I'd say it's probably one of the best in Midland. What would you think of that? Would you agree?
No question, no question. We're very lucky. We have a great team out working on it, and they've kept it in pristine order. And yeah, it is. I think it's a great course.
Yeah.
I play most of my golf here now. I'm getting probably too old to play any of the other courses, but I enjoy it. It's nice. It's social.
Apart from here, where would be your favourite course?
I have a liking for the Grange in Dublin.
Okay.
Now it's in the book. If you ever come across the book, that's what I was interviewed in that, and I always like to play in the Grange.
Yeah.
But I suppose Druids Glen would be, and the one in Kilkenny, Mount Juliet.
Mount Juliet, yeah. Well, they're, look, in fairness, 3 great golf courses.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, say we have a huge amount of positives here as regards, say, our catering, our facilities here. Is there anything you'd ever change in the golf course, or looking back on when we went from 9 to 18, should we have done anything different, or should we have changed anything on it, do you think?
I don't think so. I think the way it is now, the first 2 holes were weak originally, and then we extended it and bought a field down there, Lawrence's Field, and we made the first hole out of that, and we changed it. I think when we did that, it helped a lot.
Yeah.
It made a course of it. There was a few. The first 2 holes were weakish holes, and but that made it, as far as I'm concerned. That was great. Not a lot of things had changed in it. There was a lot of controversy over building this place.
Right. Okay.
I happened to be chairman of the year I think it was opened, and there was terrible rows over what plans we do. And there was original plan was downstairs, and then this one came by accident upstairs. But it works. It works.
Yeah, I think what we have here as regards our biggest asset here is the course.
Oh, absolutely.
You see the amount of people that come here every year, what's said about it, say, in different press, in magazines, online. I don't think there's any huge amount of negatives to take from Port Harrington.
No, I don't think so. I think that book that came out, I can't remember the name, but a few years ago.
I think it was
Kevin Markham wrote it,
yeah.
and he was very impressed in it.
Yeah.
It's a kind of it's not known an awful lot around the country. It's known around Leinster, all right, and we're known. The fact that we won the Jimmy Brewin one year helped. But if someone says the Midlands Sea, they'll say Tullamore, Mullingar. They'll be the first 2 at Carlow. We wouldn't be mentioned in that, and we're as good as any of them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely as good as any of them.
I think Port Harrington is kind of a little bit of a forgotten gem. Really.
It is, yeah.
You know, like we've such a good facility here. I think it obviously needs to be marketed a lot more, and we need to do a little bit more work on that. But look, that's again another day's work.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen a huge amount of changes here, and you've seen a huge amount of people come and go. We've some great characters here. Anybody in particular over the years who sticks out in your mind?
There've been a lot of them. Harry Russell, he was captain the year we won the Barton Cup in 1950. He was a great character, and there was Dick Motherway, was another lad. He was a character, you know. Yeah. They're both left us now. Tony Tynan, who's still around, he's still playing golf, and he's still a single-handed golfer, and I think he's definitely the wrong side of 80 now, but he's still playing off single figures. And he was down last year, and I was talking to him, and they'd be good characters. It was a different. Ted Parkinson was another fella from Munstreven. It was a different era. Yeah. It was a different era. The normal, we say, around Port Harrington, Munstreven, Mountmedic, they're the 3 areas. But it was a kind of an elitist. You'd have to say back in the 50s, it was considered. Now, I never considered it elitist, but it was considered at the time a kind of an elitist game, and it's not anymore. It's a game for everybody now, and that's the way it should be.
Sure, absolutely. You see, I think you've held pretty much every office, I think, bar treasurer in...
Yeah, I've never been treasurer.
Port Harrington. And from the time, what was the kind of spark? From when the time went from, say, 9 to 18 holes, there must have been a kind of time where we went, okay, we can do this. How did it start? Kind of the cost involved? I mean, it was probably a major project at the time. It
was a major project, and we probably couldn't have done it. Only when we got the extra land from the forestry, we actually didn't cost us any money, as it turned out. We at 30 odd acres, I think we bought, but we sold all the timber on the new court, the new part, and we got that money came in, and it covered completely.
Fantastic.
That was a huge plus.
Yeah.
And then we did a lot of work ourselves. We all picked stones, and we all worked on it. Everybody, the members were out there picking stones, and we did a lot of work ourselves. And then we were lucky we had a FOSS scheme as well. We had about 9 lads, I think, for a FOSS scheme for a couple of years, and that helped the financing of it.
Okay.
You know, it was a bit of a drain. It was a drain, but we were never in any danger of losing the course. Right. We were tight at times, but we were never in a danger. And then when we before we built the course, we kind of looked at making the clubhouse better, and we did. And at one stage we were talking about putting in a squash court here.
Okay. Right.
And squash was very big around the country at that stage. Everyone was playing it. And we brought it to an AGM here, and we lost by 1 vote.
For a squash court?
For a squash court.
We could have had a squash court in Port Harrington Golf.
We could have had a squash court in Port Harrington Golf Club, but the 1 vote, that's all it was. But in hindsight, looking back now, it was the right decision not to do it. Okay. Yeah. It would have been grand for a couple of years, but it's getting to be an older club as we go along. Yeah. We don't have that many young members, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's the way the kind of demographic is going at the moment with golf clubs in general. I mean, we've very little younger members coming through, kind of that 18 to 50. Yeah, that's considered it like a young age.
It's not. No, that is fact. No question about it. But that's what we have to live with, and I worry about it coming in years to come. Like I'd say, I don't know many, but I'd imagine we have over 50% of our members are over 60.
Yeah, I think our last count we probably had more. I think we could count on one hand the number under 40 nearly. Here.
Yeah, under 40. Yeah, but
stage, you know?
Yeah,
I think that's kind of an ongoing problem.
I think it's a problem with all courses.
Yeah, I mean, with what we have here, we've hosted Cups and Shields. I think you were part of the Jimmy Brown team, famously that won in 1999.
I wasn't. I was a sub in it. Yeah. I was a sub in it. Yeah, Seamus McCusker and myself were on standby, and. When the Leinster final, we played it over 2 days up in Baltray, and one of our, I won't mention the pair, but one pair were 4 or 5 down after 4 or 5 holes, and Noel McMahon was the manager, and he came to Seamus and myself. I was caddying for one of the other matches, and he came to Seamus and myself and said, "Lads, go out to the practice ground, hit a few shots, you're going on in the evening." But the 2 of the lads that weren't doing well heard it. And they won the next 5 holes, and they took them in after 3 and 2, I think.
Very good.
But 2 characters. One of them no longer with us, and the other fella still playing golf with us.
Yeah, won't mention any names.
We won't mention names.
What would be your favourite memory, like of the last, as probably 75 years? What has been kind of highlight of your memories in Port Harrington Golf Club?
Winning the captain's prize 3 times has to be.
Yeah, I think that's probably...
Nobody else has done it.
I don't think anyone else has probably done it.
No, nobody else has done it. And I won it 3 times. And I was lucky, I was playing well. I won it off 18. No, sorry. I was 18 as I walked out to the first tee, the first year, 1969. And Jim Brennan, schoolmaster out in Killinard, was secretary. And he, just before I hit my first shot off the first it was at the time, he cut me 3 shots.
Lovely.
As I was standing on the tee. Okay. So I played it off 15. And I won it that year off 15. I won it off 12, and I won it off 9.
Okay, well I think that's a great achievement in itself. Like, I think no one else has probably done that. I don't think.
No, I don't think. No, between for about 8 years, I won it 3 times. Eddie Kelly won it twice, and Mick Tynan won it twice. Okay. 3 and 2, 5 to 7.
Okay. A couple of things just even about yourself, Tom. I mean, I know you're heavily involved with the rugby club here in Port Harrington, and have and still are. I mean, I know you're kind of ticket secretary at the moment.
Yeah.
But again, you've held nearly every office, I think, in the rugby club as well as
except treasurer.
Except treasurer. I just don't trust you.
They must trust me with the money. Well, they obviously trust me in the money because I do all the international tickets. I've done that for about 30 years now.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, like just reading down here. I mean, play for Palmerstown.
I played for Palmerstown in Dublin. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't a great player. I was second team, third team.
Yeah, but still you were first team captain.
I was first team captain here, yeah.
You were club president.
I was.
You were head coach.
I was.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, like, you look at that as regards even the Hainsworth name in Port Ireland, like the golf club and the rugby club, like it's a fantastic.
We'd be fairly well known. Well, there's very few Hainsworths in the country anyway, so there's only our own family, and I think there's one other family, an American. I don't know whether they're still here or not, but there's no other ones. They're all either my brothers or sister, are the only Hainsworths in the country.
Fantastic, yeah. Like that's something that you wouldn't probably know.
And the funny thing about it, it's not really but all the lads, well, you all know I like going on cruise holidays. I love a holiday. I love a cruise holiday.
Yeah.
But last year we went to America, the Caribbean, and at one stage we were in the bar one night, and I was talking to the barman, and he said, and he asked me what my name was. Well, he saw it on the card. He gave a card. And, he said, "You've another family here with you?" And I said, "No, just ourselves." "Oh no, there's another family here." So I got curious. Then I went down to the reception, and I found that there was a Hainsworth family on the cruise, and they live in Seattle, America.
You had to speak to them.
I had to speak to them, yeah, because I said I was interested. And then my father was from outside Leeds, Bradford, that area. That's where he came from. Okay. And their family were based from out there as well, but there's no connection, no connection. But they were from that same area. Yeah. But there's no other Hainsworth, to my knowledge, in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. But even that's something that you don't. You normally hear of groups of families around the area, but
yeah.
I mean, yourself, Sadie, and yourself, obviously, you're married 54 years.
Yeah.
You knew that one, right?
Yeah.
And I know something that's close to your heart is the Care to Drive service.
Yeah, well, both of us had cancer. Sadie much more sudden. I got mine early, and it was prostate, which I was able to get through more easier than Sadie. And she went through hell for about a couple of years. But yeah, we got involved with Care to Drive. And but since the COVID came in, we can't do it anymore because we're not allowed to travel with it. But we did it I suppose we did it for 12 years.
Yeah. Even that's to be commended. I mean, you can see how everything has changed now. Where do you see Port Ireland Golf Club in the future in, say, 5 or 10 years? I mean, if you look at the time that Tom and Jerry were downstairs taking entries in the ledger.
Yeah, that was...
Where it's going to be now as regards, even with COVID and different things that are happening.
Well, I hope COVID will go away this year with a bit of luck. We might get back to normal. I think we probably will get back. We mightn't get back playing all the courses, all the competitions we want, but I think we will probably get some kind of this year out of it. I hope we do, because if we lose all this year, we're going to be in trouble. Yeah. No question we will.
It goes for nearly every club in the country.
It does, yeah, but I think we will get back. I think we'll get back this year. It'll be nice to see it. But,
I think there's a good committee.
There's a good committee there, and seem to know what they're doing. Yeah. And I was secretary for 9 years, and then I passed it over to John G. And I really lumped it on him because he walked into it last year. It wasn't intentional now, I have to say that.
Absolutely.
But he's done a fantastic job. And when people like that, and there's new lads coming in, Dennis Lyon has taken over Mick Feely's job as well, and I think he will be very good.
Yeah, I think I think there's a bit of a handover every few years.
There always will be, but I think what we have coming through, hopefully, they'll do. I know they will. They will do well, and I think we will survive. It's since the first time, we never had food here. When back in the 60s, 70s, we never had food. And I remember the first open week, Terry Conlon, 1974. Terry Conlon he started the open weeks at that stage, and you couldn't get to eat in the place. And Donny Amaro was here at the time, and then Donny would do a fry for you. And that was the first. Now we have a restaurant here to match any restaurant.
Yeah, second to none.
No question about it. Yeah. And we give a great service, and people like coming out here. But it'll have to be supported by the members. They just have to support it. They have to realise that they will have to support it to keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, Tom, look I I think we're after running through probably a lot of stuff there as regards what it was like in the early days and what it was like in the latter days. So, I mean, we want to just kind of keep these kind of interviews, for want of a better word, kind of short and sweet.
Yeah.
So with that, Tom, thanks a million for coming out. Appreciate it. Appreciate talking about some of the stuff that went on here over the course of the last, in your case, I suppose, 75 years. And, we'll certainly chat again. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Colin. I appreciate it.
Yeah.